Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Acid Wash Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Marika, and this is my lovely co-host, Sydney.
Don't stress yourself there. Hello.
Together, we make up the bisexual supporting cast, and today, I don't really have a topic. I know we've been talking about, like, this game or whatever, the, like, pairing game that I want to play, but I haven't had the time and also haven't made the time to, like, write out all the people and get that all set up in order to not cause myself more stress. I was like, this can't get done for the next podcast, and you need to accept this and just think of something else. So instead, I thought of nothing, and I thought that we could just bullshit the entire time about miscellaneous things. I have a couple ideas in my head to make sure we have something to talk about. But
well, that's good, because I did not know about the topic to non-topic change, and so I also have nothing to go off of.
Well, all right, let's start with this, because last episode we reviewed the new My Hero movie, and we touched briefly on RodyDeku as just a pairing couple that exists, a relationship that was in the movie. But I feel like that was before you really dived head first into the shit. And so I feel like you might have more to say on it now than we actually did on the last podcast. And I don't know, maybe this would be an opportune moment to let out some of your feelings surrounding them.
It's so funny that you brought the movie back up, because I had a couple thoughts that I thought of after we recorded the last podcast, where I was like, oh my gosh, we like didn't touch on these like couple things, and I was gonna do it for Sydney's segment, but I guess like this whole thing can just be Marika and Sydney's segment, because since we don't really have a topic. But I came out of the movie being like, wow, they're in love, and then I thought about it more, and I was like, wow, they're like really in love. So
yeah, I feel like you went from, oh, this is like cute, and Rody has a crush on Deku, and whatever, it's like a ship I like, and 2 weeks later you've just nosedived into this is everything that matters to me right now.
Yeah. I am a person who hyperfixates. I took a quiz. There was a quiz going around some Discord servers that was like
such a quiz taker.
People post them, and I like taking them. Anyway, was it Quizilla? Was that the popular thing when we were younger?
I mean, Quizilla did exist, yes.
Yeah, I took so many quizzes on Quizilla.
Oh yeah, it was probably Quizilla that you're thinking of.
Yeah. So this has always been me. I love when other things tell me who I am.
I just don't like quizzes that. Sometimes I do. I find them entertaining. Usually when they're a little more outlandish. Maybe not even that. I don't know. I guess I don't like quizzes that tell me who I am. I usually tend to like quizzes that pair me with someone.
and it comes out.
I don't know. I'm not a huge quiz person in general. Sometimes I take them and I think they're fun, but like
I take them all the time. I'm constantly telling you like, oh, BuzzFeed quiz told me that.
Yeah, I think you're like the only person in the world that still takes BuzzFeed quizzes.
I can't be the only one if they're still making them. Yes, I took a quiz recently, and it was like, what emotion do you create from? And I got reverence, and it was like, you admire something so greatly, like you just want to create stuff to like measure up to this thing that you admire. And I was like, I feel like this is a really nice way to just say that I hyperfixate on things.
This is a perfect example of a quiz I would never give a shit about taking.
All my Discord friends are taking it.
I will say I do have a link stored in a note on my phone right now to an ABO quiz, like which one are you, with a lot of like subcategories apparently, like dominant, omega. I don't know. I haven't taken it yet because I was thinking that we could do it on the podcast at some point.
Oh,
so maybe if we really get desperate for content in this episode,
we'll whip out the ABO quiz. Good Lord. All right. Well, let's hope we come up with enough topics so that doesn't happen.
You just don't want to accept that you're going to get omega. You're a Capricorn. You have to be an omega.
Good Lord. Why are these correlating? Give me your chart. I need your MBTI, your sun, moon, rising, and I need your ABO. Is that going to be our life in like 2050?
In 2050?
Yeah, is that going to be like mainstream?
Oh,
you know?
like
Like
alpha, beta,
culture?
omega
Yeah.
dynamics? I mean, maybe.
Goodness. Anyway.
I think that is such an interesting, I feel like it's like the modern day supernatural, not like supernatural like the show, supernatural like invention, I guess what I say. Like, you know, you think of like classic like werewolves and vampires and whatnot, and I feel like those all are old, but they're in the public conscience as like types of supernatural creatures. And I feel like this is like the modern day of that, and as we move forward into the future, there's no place for it to go except for more mainstream.
A place where it could go is in the grave. So there's my take.
So you're hyperfixating on RodyDeku now?
Yes, I am. I'm going through the tag. Good news. When I first opened up the tag, filtered by complete in English, because that's how I do things. On AO3, yes. It was at 3 pages, and as of this morning, we are 1 fic into a 4th page, people.
Wow.
We can only go up.
God works fast, but the RodyDeku stands work faster.
Yeah, so I'm on page 3.
Have you found any gems?
They're all in a similar vein, which is, you could probably guess, is like reunion or how they keep in touch.
Right.
Nothing has really like super stood out to me, but there are like some cute ideas and things like that. So, I'm enjoying myself. But then there are some ABO fics that have cropped up. I have not read them, so if you want to explore those, you can do that on your own time.
Send me the link. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've been reading a lot of ABO recently.
You have.
And I'm not searching it out.
I feel like there's a resurgence. Like there's like a...
Sometimes
there's like some sort of weird cultural fandom moment spotlight happening.
Sometimes it's so hard to tell like what is happening as a larger trend and what is just happening in like the circle of people that you follow or interact with. Because I was thinking about this because I was like, wow, Sunakoma was like really having a moment. And then I'm like, is it, or do I just happen to follow a lot of people on Twitter that are into this ship because I'm into this ship, and I just feel like they're having a moment because a bunch of the content I'm seeing is then.
There was some TikTok that I saw where someone was like, this sound isn't trending, like in the comments, and I was like, it's not. Like, I've seen videos with this sound like at least 5 times,
right?
And I go into it and it's like, oh no, it's really not trending. Like, it's under 500 videos. I just happen to be in the circle that the TikTok algorithm thinks should see videos with this sound.
Yeah, well, that just happened to us. I don't even remember what song it was, but we were listening to Alexa on some shuffle, whatever, and she's not plugged in. I forgot
she was plugged in. She wasn't plugged in.
Cindy just looked off to the side like, did she hear you?
I was ready to be like, never mind.
In order to have our stuff plugged in for the podcast setup, we have to unplug Alexa.
Yeah, so you can't spy on us, Bezos.
She has no idea we're the ones behind this podcast. Even though we actually love, oh no, never mind. Wow, I really got Amazon and Spotify confused for like a hot second. Wow, I was going to be like, because I think it's because that makes no sense. I was going to say it's because it's green, like Spotify's green, but I'm like, Amazon doesn't have any green in any of its marketing, so.
You just confused yourself.
Never mind. Anyway, we were just listening to Alexa, and a song came on that I recognized, and you were like, I don't know this song at all. And I was like, it blew up on TikTok. Like, what are you talking about? And I went to go show you some TikToks with it, and I was like, oh, I think there was like 3,000 videos, maybe not even. I don't remember. But it got really popular amongst cosplayers, I feel. And
I don't follow a lot of
cosplayers.
Yeah. Only a couple.
Right. I get a decent amount on my For You page. So I was like, that I guess kind of makes sense. It's very interesting. I think both of our TikTok like For You pages, because
our Venn diagram of TikTok.
Yeah, because I feel like we have a lot of very similar interests, especially when it comes to fandom stuff. But then our pages are like wildly different, other than the anime overlap. Like so Hooters recently-ish changed the type of shorts that they are allowing their servers to wear. And actually now with the social media outrage, they swapped back. You can wear either style now, but they changed the style to something decently more revealing and also apparently a lot more uncomfortable. And anyway, I was seeing so many TikToks about this. So, like, my account was flooded with it, and I brought it up to you at some point. I was like, oh yeah, because Hooters, whatever. And you're just like, what are you talking about? I had no clue. And I'm like, wait, you're not on Hooters TikTok?
No. Yeah, that was funny. Which, you saying that is funny because when I got my TikTok, I like went through your following, and those are like the first accounts I followed because I used to watch over your shoulder fairly frequently, and so I knew I was like, oh, I want to follow these people, but like, fuck if I know how to find them on my own. And so I remember you complained for the first couple months that I had a TikTok that our TikToks were too similar.
Because I don't remember complaining.
Yeah,
about this,
you were like, oh my god, we get all the same stuff. And so, but now the algorithm, we've used our TikToks in different ways, and so we've curated our experience. Although my TikTok has been like on something lately. They're showing me like, it used to be so good. Like it used to be I could sit there and like every single video it showed me, I was like, yes, this is golden. Everything is great. And now it's like every like 5 to 10 videos, something is weird. And it'll be like something weird in a row. It's like aggressive straight gamers, like straight male gamers being like, come watch my live. Bleh. And I'm like, no. Or like videos in Spanish, which I appreciate the faith. But my 2 years of Spanish in high school, 8 years ago, not sufficient to get me to allow me to successfully watch TikToks in Spanish. Or like girls complaining about their boyfriends, or like models being pretty or something. And I'm like I'm just mostly not interested in this. I'm here for the anime and for the cute animals and for the like sometimes like the funny like weird stuff. But
people falling.
Yeah, oh god, I love people falling. I don't know why it's so funny to me, but when people fall,
you're just such a terrible person.
I know. There's that vine of the baby who's like on the playground. He's like a toddler. And he like grabs the pole and he's like laughing, and then he just
like a fireman's pole, and then he just falls to the ground. He just
falls, and then he's just like laughing. I think that's so funny.
Yeah, I like it when they're obviously not seriously hurt. It stresses me out when there's like a potential for serious harm.
Oh yeah, it stresses me out. I just will continue to laugh like a hyena.
You're a terrible person.
I know. I don't know. Like physical humor just really gets me. Like I always go back to like one of the really early episodes of Friends when like Ross teaches Rachel how to do laundry, and then they're like all excited, and like she like fends off some laundry person, and then they like get excited, and she kisses him, and he like straightens up and is like all dazed, and he turns around and slams into an open door and like falls immediately to the ground. That cracked me up like crazy. And then watching like Parks and Rec, there's like, I can't remember what exactly was happening, but it was like Andy, and he gets flustered and he just falls to the ground. Like that's his like out. He's like and then just falls over like backwards.
I can't believe you don't remember what was happening in Parks and Rec. Is it even your favorite show?
I know. I haven't seen it in a while because
maybe it's time for a rewatch. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You were talking to me about this.
Yeah. Chris Pratt is a person who I don't really want to support anymore, but Andy is like one of the best characters on Parks and Rec, and so it's like a weird dichotomy that I'm just not comfortable with. And also like a few years ago, Aziz Ansari did something that was like probably not cool. I don't really know the details, but I was like, this seems like not great. And so like I already really didn't like his character, so that was like easier for me to be like, I don't really like if the actors the characters I don't have to like deal with like weird confusing feelings. But Andy being like such a good character, and like Chris Pratt being like such a not good person anymore, or like maybe the whole time and we just never knew, who knows, is like, yeah. So I have not watched Parks and Rec in like a while now.
Yeah, it's always hard when an actor or creator or someone who's heavily involved with a creative product fucks up. And, like, not just fucks up, but, like, is revealed to have, you know, whatever, differing morals or just a consistent pattern of bad behavior or whatever. It's sometimes, like, even if you want to separate art from the artist or whatever, it's just sometimes you just can't. Like, you're just, left kind of weird, in a weird spot about it.
Yeah. Hashtag Harry Potter.
Yeah. And like, it's really sad because, I mean, with Harry Potter and specifically, we've both talked about how it's like, were such a big part of our lives growing up. And like, if you, like, I don't begrudge anyone for still like making or creating or being involved with like fandom or content surrounding it or the story around it. But for me personally, like, it just feels off, like, ever so slightly in a way that like it just really disinterests me now, and I'm just it's a bummer.
Good thing we have Haikyuu to hyperfixate on instead.
It's true.
Yeah.
So anyway, circling back full blown to you were taking a quiz, and then Deku Rody.
Yeah,
and
RodyDeku.
You got another page added. I remember some of our conversation now.
Yep. I'm deep into it. I'm deep enough into it that a friend from Discord sent me a RodyDeku Twitter post.
What makes this, do you have any idea? Because previously your favorite Deku ship was Izuocha. Which this has surpassed, it seems.
Yes.
What makes this better than that?
I don't know.
He's just fetishizing gay men.
Yes. No. Please, no one clip that and get me canceled on the internet.
Yeah, heaven forbid you get canceled on the internet and we lose our illustrious internet careers.
Yeah. What about our, like, what is it, 2 consistent listeners or something? Please don't leave us. No, I don't know. Like, so the Deku ships, like, I preferred Deku and Uraraka just because, like, I was like, I like, I don't know. It wasn't like I preferred them because, like, they were my favorite. Like,
You just hated the rest?
Not hated. I just felt lukewarm about them all. Like, they're all fine and good. Like, again, we're all very, like, multi-shipper here. So,
this
like,
is so strange to me because do you just not vibe with Deku as a character that much?
Probably.
Because the way you're describing it is how I tend to feel about ships with characters that I don't really care about. It's not that I hate the ships, it's just like to me because I don't really that much care about the character. But like, fucking, I love Deku.
I know.
I guess I just didn't realize that we had such different opinions on him.
Like, he's cool and I really like him as a character. I guess I just like didn't see him as very shippable. And like, I liked Uraraka and Deku most because like there's like, I don't know, like there's like more build up to them because of like, you know, heteronormativity and all that. But yeah, like I really wanted to like Deku, but I just didn't. And now I like Sararoki and RodyDeku, so I'm covered on my Todoroki and Deku fronts now.
I just don't know why you like Sararoki so much when you don't like Todoroki.
I don't dislike. I
know, but you were like, it's whatever. But like, you just went Sararoki.
I just think they're so cute. They read manga together, and
they what?
They read manga together.
Oh, read manga.
And they like. I just think they're so cute.
I'm not judging you for the record.
And I found a person on Instagram who ships them, and that's like 98% of what they draw is Sararoki, and it just makes me so happy because I have like, it's just really nice with rare pairs especially to find someone who, I don't know, at least somewhat consistently creates for your ship.
How rare of a pair is Sararoki?
It's pretty rare.
I feel like it's not that rare. I see a lot of it on TikTok.
Probably because you keep interacting with it to send it to me, which I think is how I keep getting Omegaverse on my fucking For You page, because you keep sending it to me.
I literally told you a story today about how I didn't send you an Omegaverse TikTok.
I know, but that hasn't stopped you previously.
I've finally come to realize that like, you either don't think some of the jokes are funny, or like you don't understand them enough to think they're funny. I don't know which one it is. But like, there's some banger TikToks that are so funny that are Omegaverse related, and you're just like, I don't give a shit.
It's just not my cup of tea. If it's your cup of tea, by all means, have at it. The content is out there for you. It's just not my cup of tea.
How very Omega of you.
Shut up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I used to not be into ABO.
Yeah, you did like a 180. Like we talked about it and you were like, yeah, it's fine. I just really like the like I like this one aspect, which is like the sense. And you were like, I like that. And so I feel like,
which still holds true for the record.
Yeah,
that's
like
one
your
of my
part of it.
favorite aspects of it is I love authors. I feel like authors can get like such a good, what am I trying to say? The way that they can describe people's sense and then the feelings that those evoke in other people's in some of these ABO works makes the like connection feel so like weighty. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just because scent is one of the hardest emotions in my opinion, or not emotions, one of the hardest sensations to describe for me at least. And I don't know, just seeing authors use that so effectively and just like I don't know what it is, it's so good.
Did you read like Amortentia? I don't know what you're talking about. In the love potion.
Oh,
in
Amaranth,
right? It's like, do you ever have that moment when you realize Amortentia?
No, it's like
Amortentia. Do you ever realize you've never said a word out loud?
Well, like, but we've heard it before because we've seen the movies.
Oh, right. It's just because we're saying it with American accents. It'll be so much easier if I say Amortentia. Quick, where's the audiobook?
Well, I can't even think of how it's spelled.
Amortentia.
Amortentia. Yeah, it's definitely an E at the end.
Yeah, I was saying that.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
I was saying
no,
that.
You
were back the audio.
You were skipping the first T. You were like Amortentia.
No. You were gaslighting me right now. That is what you were saying.
No, I was saying Amortentia.
Okay, sure. And yes.
Okay. What were you saying?
I don't know, but I had the iya at the end and you didn't, which is literally what you just said you were saying.
Yeah, the sh.
The iya.
Oh, like you're like Shia, like Tia.
Amortentia. Like I was getting the iya at the end.
Okay, yeah, but what you just said, you skipped the first T, and that's what I was. Okay,
that's fine. But
we can't go through this again.
I feel like I'm more right in this exchange.
I don't think so.
I feel like we're gonna listen back onto this and more people will take my side than yours.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry I accused you of gaslighting me.
Thank you. Anyway, did you read a lot of those fics?
No, I
for Harry Potter? I feel like you should have.
You know. I'm crying right now. Oh no, the tears are just coming from my eyes.
Oh my goodness. If you're listening to this where you can't see our faces, go to YouTube and see Marika cry.
No. Well, I don't know. What's the point of that? But then like one person just has a love potion and I'm not a huge fan of love potion stuff.
Yeah.
You know like, what I was a fan of?
It smells like the person.
Yeah, but sure.
And then they have to realize it. I don't know.
I literally... Okay, one, I feel like the whole universe of ABO is much more of a bigger idea to expand upon than you smell a love potion at some point in this fic. I see where you're coming from the scent, but I don't really think they're compatible.
Right.
But no, what I was really into in Harry Potter fanfic was two characters getting magically stuck in a closet, and the closet won't let them out until they like make up or realize they're in love with each other.
Wow. That is a niche that I don't think I've ever encountered.
I read so many versions of it. Well, okay, so if you listened to our previous podcast that dealt with the history kind of our experiences in fandom,
mm-hmm.
I started out in the Harry Potter fandom very young, and one of the first ships I was really into was Hermione Draco. So how do you get two characters that hate each other to like actually interact in like a meaningful way? You trap them in a fucking closet together. There's so many versions. Like you get in and the space gets smaller and smaller, and
so like they're forced to get close to each other.
Like the opportunities or the options are endless. Why did you read a lot of Amortentia?
Amortentia.
What? It literally has an ia at the end.
No,
It's
but you
not
said
Amortentia.
You said Amorentia. Anyway,
But
no,
you're
I did
correcting
not.
me. I'm just saying you're correcting me, and you're correcting me to a different incorrect pronunciation. You're like, it's not Amortentia, it's Amortentia, but it has an ia at the end.
Yeah, and I'm saying that
You're
TIA can be shut.
No, it's not. I'm crying. I'm gonna have to go and like fix my makeup. My eyes are so watery. I'm so frustrated by this. I don't know. Maybe you are right. Now I'm questioning my own reality.
Oh no, I am gaslighting you.
Hold on. Let me YouTube this. Let me see if I can get a clip.
Let's find it. Where's Slughorn?
Maybe you're right. Maybe it's Amortentia. No, it's a ia. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Oh, sorry. It's really fast.
2 times speed.
It's actually on 1.7 times speed.
That's so much slower.
Harry, my boy, I'm beginning to worry. Brought someone with us.
Love potion in the world. It's terribly tricky to make, Mrs. Amortentia.
There it was. Wait, she said it.
Potion in the world.
Hold on.
Terribly tricky to make, Mrs. Amortentia.
Amortentia.
Amortentia. That's crazy. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I want to check out the 6th audiobook.
I need to excuse myself to wipe up the literal tear tracks that are on my face and also to go to the bathroom. All right, now that we're back from that escapade.
All right.
I don't remember. Do you have anything more to say on RodyDeku?
No.
Sarah Roki. Which one do you like better?
Sarah Roki.
Rank your top My Hero ships?
I should have been prepared for this since I have acquired 2 new ships that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, previously it was Kiribaku as number 1, Ojikami number 2, Mirio Tamaki number 3. Now, I think Mirio Tamaki has to be 5, which is sad because I really love them.
Mm-hmm.
And Tamaki's a baby bean, and I just want good things for him, and Mirio is good things for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see content for them.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to stay into something if you don't see anything for it. Like, I see some stuff, but I think it's surprisingly small for how, like, outright their, like, relationship.
Sun Eater, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hot damn. So I think Mirio Tamaki has to be number 5. Kiribaku is still number 1. I think Ojikami is still number 2. But then I think it's Sararoki and then RodyDeku.
And so is Shinso and Monoma number 6?
Oh, Shinzo and Monoma. I forgot I recently got into them too. What the fuck is wrong with
you were
me?
forgetting about them.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
I feel so stupid when I bring this up.
Yeah, they're number 6. I don't like them better than Mirio and Tamaki, but I don't know, they're just a vibe. They're a vibe that I'm vibing. I love the sound.
Sorry, I'm all phlegmy because I was crying.
I get phlegmy when we laugh. I think you're phlegmy because we were laughing too much. Anyway.
You're talking about Shinso and Monoma being a vibe?
Yeah. Oh, well, because you started singing Kata Vibe, and I just like that there's that sound of the person singing it badly.
Yeah.
And I like that exists because then I can just sing that instead of like trying to actually sing the song.
Yeah.
I could just be Kata Vibe. And
I
then
mean, you could also just sing it terribly anyway. That's, you know, for some of us in life that weren't trained from birth to become an a cappella singer.
She's exaggerating.
Our only choice is to sing terribly when we sing.
You sing better than you think you do.
I really don't.
You really do.
I really.
You're not that bad.
I like the pause that you made. You're not that bad.
I was choking on my own phlegm.
Yeah, sure. One time, so I dated this guy in high school that really did not get along with my best friend. Like, they both disliked each other. And to be fair, he's a lot shittier than her, as it normally goes. Men. Anyway, both me and my best friend are not good at singing. Like, we've bonded over that. We've done terrible karaoke together. Like, we both have this understanding that, like, we're just not good at singing. We've accepted that. We don't care to try to get better at it. Whatever. It's not a passion of ours. And, like, he would, like, bitch sometimes, because he was a singer. He was in choir, you know, all that. He would bitch sometimes about how bad her singing was. And I literally would be like, dude, I'm also bad at singing. And he was like, yeah, but, like, you can at least match pitch. And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm like, I don't understand keys. You can't bitch to me about my friend not knowing how to sing when I am on the same level as her of not having this talent. So funny that we mentioned earlier, or I guess I mentioned earlier, Sunakomo, or Suna and Komori Motoya from Haikyuu, because I have made a very mature decision recently to not participate in the Sunakomo exchange, or there was a couple other exchanges that I had my eye on as well, and I'm just not gonna sign up for them because I had like a heart-to-heart with myself. And I was like, I have a lot of projects that I would like to see come to fruition, right? Like, I want to finish my Kinktober. I'm not even talking about the bang that I'm currently in that I need to finish, because obviously that's coming to a close soon. I'm going to be done with that soon, and then I have another fic plan for December. But, like, even aside from those, I have just a lot of ideas and a lot of fics that I've started writing but haven't finished. And I had to sit down with myself and be like, would you rather start on a piece for an exchange, or would you rather finish like this other idea that you've organically created on your own and are like excited about in its own right? And I was like, I'd rather focus on my own ideas. And I think something that's fun about exchanges and bangs is just kind of the community it builds. But right now, with the way the other aspects of my life are structured, having like the deadline and obligations surrounding fandom is more of a stressor than it is an aid. Sometimes it is an aid and it's helpful to like force yourself to push through those things or to challenge yourself. And sometimes fandom is just supposed to be fun because it's a hobby.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, it would probably be really cool, especially Sunakomo. Like, I just love them so much. And so I was really excited that this exchange was even happening in the first place and that there was a lot of interest in it, and that I would theoretically be able to like find other people who are also passionate about this ship. But I was like, you're too busy right now to start on it. The other thing, I guess we kind of touched on this in the last one, where I was talking about when I was part of the RodyDeku Big Bang, it was super easy because I had like most of the fic, like 95% of the fic finished within the first like 2 weeks of the bang happening, and I didn't have to stress about it the entire time. So any of my interactions with the bang and the community there, even though it was pretty limited, I'm not super into Discord, but any of my interactions that were happening were just because of fun. I didn't have it in the back of my mind. It wasn't a stressor. And I was like, because of other fandom obligations or goals or whatever that I have going on right now, I wouldn't be able to start on my piece for the exchange probably until January, which theoretically was still plenty of time. I think the minimum requirement for it was like 1.5K. Wait, K, 1,000. 1.5.
1,500.
Yes. Yeah. I was right. Which isn't that much, but one, I know my tendency to like, it would probably end up being longer than that, just for how I tend to structure stories. And also, I was like, you don't know where you're going to be at in 2 months. What if in 2 months I'm not passionate about Sunakomo? I don't think that's going to happen. But if I could start the piece right now and have it finished, then that would be one thing, because I would already essentially have like the finished piece, but I wouldn't be able to start it right now. And I think I just need to like catch up to my own goals and allow myself to catch up to my own goals, and then I can re-enter those spaces and just like recognize that the way I like interacting with those is being able to get the work done at the beginning.
I think once I finish the bangs that I'm in, I think I'm gonna cool it, at least for a while. I think I'll like just stick to like weeks and days, because you don't sign up for those. Like, you're not beholden to them. If I come up with an idea for a week and then I'm not able to write it for that week, then I can just write it later and post it later. And it's still
you say that, but then you participated in that and we're like fucking stressing about writing something for every single day, because you're like, I can't not write for one of the days.
I just wanted that event to be successful. Anyway, I think I'm the only person who wrote for every single day of that week, so.
It's kind of funny. I was thinking about, we went to this writing workshop?
Yeah.
Would you call it that?
Yeah.
That was led by Maggie Stiefvater in, was it 2018 that we went up? Or 2019?
Something like that. I think 2019.
Maggie Stiefvater is like an author. I don't know. Do you want to give a short bio on her? I don't know anything.
Yeah, so Maggie Stiefvater, most well known for the Raven Cycle, but also the Shiver trilogy, fantasy YA author. She's really cool. She's my favorite author, so that's why
I totally thought, I know. I just recently figured out, or found out, I guess, that Six of Crows was not written by her. I don't know why. I think it's because
the Raven Cycle.
Because it's the Raven Cycle. Yeah. You're a fan of her. Uh-huh. You were reading Six of Crows.
No, I have never read Six of Crows.
Oh. I don't know.
I do not know
Six of Crows is YA though, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But other than that, I do not know a single thing about Six of Crows.
Oh, I thought you were about that. I just guess I'm really wrong. Well, never mind. But yeah, I saw it on, I don't remember, probably TikTok, and someone was like, Six of Crows, blah, 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 and I was like, oh, this isn't Maggie Stiefvater's book. And so we went to this writing workshop that she put on. I've never read anything by her before, but I was tagging along because, you know, that's what you do as a good fiance.
And it's a Seattle trip.
Yeah, it's a Seattle trip. We make a lot of those, apparently. How have we become that couple that like vacations up to Seattle?
I know. We've gone like once a year for like with the exception of 2020.
Yeah,
like
I know. Like at least once a year. We've been twice this year.
Okay, yeah, but once was on accident.
Anyway, so like I never visited Seattle in my life before like going with you.
Yeah.
And
so
now
the comedy thing, the YouTube people.
Yeah,
that was the first time we went up there.
Yeah, I think maybe I had visited Seattle. I know I made this trip to Washington for a thing that I won't really get into, but with my mom, and I don't remember where in Washington it was, but I think I don't know. Seattle is really far away, and I remember wherever we went was really far away, but also I was really young at that point, and sometimes distances are far away. Yeah. So in my head it was Seattle for a long time, and then as I got older I was like, it was probably Vancouver, but also Vancouver seems a little too close because I know it was a distance. So anyway, long story short, I don't fucking know. I might have been to Seattle, but not memorably to Seattle. And then now we go like all the time. A bit of an exaggeration, but we've been several times.
We've been surprisingly frequently for how far away it is for us.
So anyway,
and we're planning on going again in April.
Yeah, we are. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Oh.
So we went up to this writing workshop hosted by Maggie Stiefvater, and she kind of talked through her process, which is absolutely fucking wild. Like, I've never heard someone have a planning process like hers. And basically, she just thinks about her book for months and plans out every little detail like in her head, doesn't write anything down for like those planning stages, and then writes the book.
Yep.
And she says that's why she can write a quotes on that, write a book so quickly, because like her physically writing down the book doesn't take too long, but it's because she's essentially planned everything out ahead of time, so detailed that she doesn't have to think about working through like issues or characterizations or scenery or whatever as she's writing. She's literally just translating it down. I feel like I'm not truly doing the entire process justice, because one, it's been a while since I heard the entire thing, and two, it's just so short, I'm summarizing it. But like I remember when I was listening to it and she's like, I don't write anything down. If there's details that I forget, it's not worth it to put in the book. And I was just like, that's such an insane concept to me. Because I'm like, sometimes I feel like most people who write can appreciate this, like having this idea and then you don't write it down and then you just don't remember, but you like wish you did because you felt like it was so good. I feel like the way she's describing it is a very one project at a time approach. Yeah. And I know for me personally, I shuffle a bunch of different projects. Like I have many things going on rotation. And sometimes if I don't write things down, it's not, I'll forget it. And it's not because it's bad. It's just, I have too much other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she definitely works on multiple projects at a time. Like, she'll tease, like, ooh, I have a secret book that I'm working on. At the same time, I'm writing a sequel to another book. But, yeah, I don't think it's on the level of, like, I don't think she has, like, 25 fic ideas in a folder. Like, I don't think it's on that level. I think it's, like, 2, maybe 3.
Right.
But, you know, she could have 25 fic ideas in a folder.
Yeah, you never
we don't know.
But what I was going to say is I actually feel like I've adopted kind of into her mind building out the story more and more. Usually it's a process I do, like, as I'm going to sleep. So fun fact, I told you this at one point, which I never told to literally anyone else before I told you this. And now I'm mentioning it on the podcast. But to help me go to sleep, I used to, like, imagine myself in Hogwarts. I don't know, walking around, going to class, like, whatever. Like, that was a very major part of my, like, going to sleep process. Is I was almost always just imagining myself, like, walking around Hogwarts. Like, and that was from, like, a young age up through college. And then actually before the J.K. Rowling situation happened, I was a part of a drag show that was parodying Harry Potter. And I was not getting along with some of the people who were running it. And it was honestly one of the most stressful productions I've ever been a part of. I was like, it was like the stress affecting me in, like, physical ways. Like, that was one of the first times that I really, really noticed that happening. And I remember telling you at that point, I was having such a hard time sleeping. And I was like, I really think it's because, like, I can't fucking stop thinking about this production. I would just be going to sleep, and no matter, like, I tried to focus on something else, my mind would always start going back to, like, these are the arguments we're having, these are the points I'm trying to make, this is the issues, like, da 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 da. And I was like, I think, like, really part of that was, you know, this thing with Harry Potter was such a big part of me going to sleep. And now it's like, not only do I just have something that's at the fringes of my mind that's pulling my attention away from what would normally be my sleep routine, but it's literally fucking directly linked.
Yeah, so you can't relaxingly walk through Hogwarts because you're like, oh yeah,
this is the fucking play that we're doing.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to get out of that, and I don't really know what I, like, replaced it with or what I ended up doing. I counted myself to sleep for a while. I ran myself. I would just stay awake till I was so exhausted I had no choice but to go to sleep, like, whatever. But more recently, what I've been doing, especially since I have so many fic ideas, is I'll just walk through the fic in my head and try to think out the detail and try to think of even, like, dialogue. Like, I run dialogue situations in my head, like, as I'm going to sleep as well. And so in some respects, I feel like I've really adopted the Maggie Stiefvater, like, pre-planning everything in your head way.
Yeah, I wasn't so caught off guard by her saying that in the workshop because I'd gotten similar advice from a couple of professors in college. One was a writing professor, and she talked about writing in 3 phases. It was the pre-writing, the writing, and then the editing. And she said that the writing should be the shortest phase. Like, it shouldn't take, and that your most of your time should be in your pre-writing. We were, like, working, it was a short story class. She had us keep a journal, or, like, just a simple log of, like, what you did each day in relation to your thing, and whether it was you talked about it with a friend, or you thought about it on your walk to class, or you outlined it or something, and so that way we could like take the log of our time spent on, like, whatever it was, pre-writing, writing, or editing, and we could see if the ratios match up with, like, the ratio that she gave us in the beginning of class. And so that was really interesting. And so that got me thinking a lot about pre-writing being as valuable or more valuable than the actual writing. When I wrote my thesis in college, I put that sucker off far longer than I should have. And then I finally sat myself down and wrote 40 pages in a week. And so I went to my professor, I went to my advisor, and I was like, hey, like, I'm so sorry this took me so long. Like, I did this, and she was incredible. I adore her. She's an amazing woman. And she didn't make me feel bad. She didn't guilt trip me over it. She didn't, like, scold me or anything. She was like, you know what? You needed that time to think through your thesis. And then she's like, that all that time that you weren't writing your thesis is why you were able to write 40 pages in a week, because it was in the back of your head and you were processing it as you were like sleeping, as you were doing other things, as you were whatever you were doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't deserve you. And so Maggie does write things down. Like, I don't want it to sound like she never writes anything down. Like, she just recently posted on social media about how she like she burned her like journals from like the Raven cycle and stuff, and so like she does write stuff down. It's just like for the majority of the initial planning phase she doesn't, and like it's such a hard thing to grapple with, because you're so right. Like, sometimes you think of something and you're like, oh my god, this is it, this is the thing that's gonna piece it all together, and if you don't write it down, like, you're gonna forget it and it's gonna be awful. And so like there are like, I think there's a balance, and like you said, like I think I'm pretty in between it right now too.
I think it probably depends on who you are as a person too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, definitely not everybody could do what she does, and she couldn't
like,
do what I do. Or
was planning I don't know if this fic is actually going to come to fruition, because I just realized it requires writing a lot of volleyball, and I come to realize that I don't actually enjoy writing volleyball games that much. But I had this idea for a fic, a Kenma Iwaizumi fic set in college where they're on the same team. I populated the team with some other characters that we met in Haikyuu, but also with some just original characters, because it would be unrealistic for to be an entire team of everyone that we know. And so like I kind of wrote down like the basics of all of these original characters, not because I'm really planning on highlighting them, but I was like, I need to remember like who this is and what position they're in, just to like, so I'm like consistent when I'm having other people reference them in passing or whatever. And I'm so glad I did that, because if I ever go back to that fic, I haven't touched that fic for over a year now, and it's like I would have no idea. I would be reading my own fic, and since I'm only, you know, maybe 3K into it or something like that, it'd be like, who the fuck is this I mentioned him once. I know I had like probably an idea for it, but and then I would have to refigure out like who's the middle blocker, who's this, who's that. And so
yeah, I find
I really like that idea though, but riding volleyball sucks.
Riding volleyball does suck. I think through things in my head a lot more, or like maybe not a lot more now than I did. I maybe just realize it more now. I wrote a fic in like a week, like last year over the summer. It was wild. Like, I wrote a whole monster of a fic in a week, but I had been thinking about the idea for like a couple weeks beforehand, and it was all I could think about. Like, I was just constantly like percolating in the back of my brain, like just thinking about this idea, and like as I was engaging with other fan content, it was kind of inspiring other aspects of it. And I was like, oh, okay, and this and this and this and this and this. And I had some notes on my phone. I tend to now have like one note per like active fic idea on my phone. And so I'll jot down like, mostly it's dialogue lines that I'll come up with, and like, because I'll be like in the shower. This always happens in the shower. I'm always like writing dialogue in my head in the shower. I'm like standing there and I'm like, da-da-da, how could you do this? And then you don't understand. And like, yeah. And so I get out of the shower and I'm like, where the fuck is my phone? I have to write this down. And it doesn't necessarily stay the same that as I think of it, because as I get into the scene, like things shift around and stuff. But I like having just like the kind of rhythm or like points that I want to hit on, or like whatever turn of phrase that I thought was clever at the time. And I had like the barest bones outline for that one. I like had like a one line summary of each scene, maybe. And then I just went from there. It was just, but yeah, it was like, it was in my head though. So about World Heroes, I almost said World Heroes Rising again. World Heroes Mission. One of the things that we didn't touch on that I thought of later was our Kiribaku shout out. Towards the end of the movie. So I guess spoiler warning for World Heroes Mission for a little bit. It's not really.
Is it really a spoiler?
It's not really a big spoiler warning. I don't know.
To
It's
the
like
plot.
no, it does not really. Towards the end, everyone's fighting across the world in their individual battles, and then there's kind of like it's one of those moments where like everybody is like sharing in the like internal monologue, even though they're all apart from each other. Like they're all thinking along the same veins, and so they all have like little shout outs. And so they're like talking about how they never give up. They're like just getting into it. They're like, oh, we're not gonna give up. And then all of a sudden it cuts to Kirishima and he goes, right, Bakugo? And Bakugo is not with him. Kirishima is with Tetsu and Fakum and Tamaki in like Egypt, I think.
don't remember
somewhere.
where they are.
And Bakugo is with Midoriya and Todoroki fighting the main villains. So Bakugo is nowhere around. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the battle, like, Kirishima's like, right, Bakugo. It's so
like,
out of nowhere.
Unnecessary. Like, why is this happening?
Like, the guy's fighting for his life, fighting for everyone's lives, and you know what's on his mind? Bakugo.
That, I love that ship so much.
And the funny thing is that like the monologue continues. Like, that's pretty early on in the like multi-character internal monologue. Like, the moral of the story is that they're like never giving up. And like everyone else like kind of gets a moment, but they're all relating it back to Deku. They're like, Midoriya wouldn't give up, and like, what would Midoriya do? Da, da, da. But like, no, Kirishima's only thinking about Bakugo. We like looked at it. We like turned to each other. We're like, what the fuck? Did that just happen?
Yeah. We're planning on seeing it again later because, so as we previously mentioned, I had to go to the bathroom halfway through the movie, and I left during the RodyDeku montage, which, narratively speaking, is a great time to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you really didn't miss much, like, plot.
Exactly. However,
you did miss the romantic RodyDeku road trip
romantic RodyDeku moment. And finally, I almost feel like I haven't missed it because of as many fucking screenshots of it as I see online. But I finally got so upset, and I was like, I need to fucking see this. And so I was like, we need to see this again. Well, that's not what I said. I said, do you want to see this again with me? I'm going whether or not you're going.
And I said yes, because I want to see Rody be in love with Deku.
Since you now love RodyDeku so much, has that inflated the
like the movie ranking?
Yeah, the movie ranking
not.
for you. Okay.
No, it is number 2. Heroes Rising is still number 1.
Well, not even just in there, just as, because I feel like we were very critical of the movie previously.
Oh yeah, no, the movie is still just fine.
Very mid.
Yeah, but Rody is a fantastic character, and he is absolutely in love with Deku, and I support their love. So,
okay, real question. Is my right eyelash coming off? That's the eye that was leaking tears the most, and I really feel like the eyelash might be coming off. Can you see?
No, it doesn't look like it.
All right, perfect.
Cool.
Shout out to Duo Eyelash Glue.
Sponsor us. Look, she cried on camera.
It lasts through your tears.
She cried on camera and it didn't come off.
I was just watching. Where did this come up? It was probably, it was probably a TikTok. Fuck it. Anything that I like watch and I'm like, I don't know where I got this from. It's probably TikTok. But it was someone being like really critical of people crying because they're happy. They're like, has that ever actually happened to someone outside of like movies and TV and film? Like, I've never seen someone cry because they're happy. And I was like, yeah, it actually happened.
I tear up more because I'm happy. I will tear up at the randomest fucking things. Like, I don't really cry often anymore. Like, I used to cry a lot when I was younger. Now I don't really cry as much at things.
The differences between us.
I know. But I will tear up over the randomest fucking things. Like, I will show someone a video that I think is funny, and as they watch it and laugh at it, I will start tearing up from like joy or something. Like, and I'm like, I don't know, like it'll be like the video isn't funny enough for me to like just watch it on my own and like cry laughter.
Or even I recently gave a speech at my friend's wedding and I teared up towards the end of it. I'm not sad that she's getting married. I'm happy.
Yeah, you're just like emotionally.
I'm emotional.
Yeah.
I thought this was such a weird point that this person was like, does this actually happen in real life? I'm like, never in your whole life have you ever even seen someone tear up for any emotion other than like sadness or anger? Yeah. Like, really?
Yeah.
I just thought it was so weird.
Yeah, no, that happens to me all the time. Like, really randomly too. Like sometimes I'll be like, I do not know why I'm tearing up right now. Like, I just am.
Same,
like,
but I'll be sad.
Goodness.
Like, I don't know where this pain is coming from.
Just deep within
I just
you.
feel it.
That's so funny. That's so sad.
I don't know where this pain is coming from. That's so funny. Right, Bakugo?
Right, Bakugo. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, is when to tag your side pairings.
You know what? I wanted to bring this up as well.
Cool.
Because I saw someone like tweet about this recently, and I was thinking about it.
Yeah,
because they were. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Good. Talk about what the person was
Well,
saying.
they were just saying that like I wish people wouldn't tag side pairings, like full stop.
Yeah.
Pretty much is what they were saying. And then in the thread and everything, people were getting into a discussion about whether or not to tag and and I know that like Daisuga was brought up as an example of like there are so many Daisuga fics in quotation marks out there, like they're one of the top ships on AO3, but when you go through their tag, they're actually like mostly the side pairing, which I know you've experienced before.
Oh yeah, I was trying so hard to find Daisuga fics, and it was just like I got tired of trying to filter out this stuff, and I didn't want to sort by OTP true,
right?
Because I didn't want to count out the ones that had multiple ships tagged, but I just got so tired of like finding one fic and then like scrolling through the entire rest of the page of results, and it was all like side pairings. I
really wish AO3 had an option to designate a main pairing and side pairings so that you could filter by those because right now the only option is OTP true, and that
we know of. Someone,
if you're an AO3 expert, come through.
Yeah, because there was that one time that someone was like, oh, actually you can do this and you can search like this, and we were like shook by it, and I've used that feature a few times now. But yeah, shout out. So if you have any more tips for us in person on YouTube who watched that one episode, yeah, but yeah, so it's really difficult, and so like I kind of have a war with myself over it, because like on the one hand, I get it. Like if they have no plot relevance, like don't tag it. Like just put it in the notes like, hey, by the way, this has like background Ukai and Takeda or whatever. Or like there's a mention of Kyoko and Yachi or whatever. Like stuff like that I get. But stuff that's like that really is truly a side pairing and has like something of like an addition to the plot. I struggle with that because part of me wants to tag it, especially if it's a rare pair, so that people know this has it in it, right? And I consider it like at least somewhat relevant, which is like my favorite Hinata Aone fic, which is like the only Hinata Aone fic I've read, but it's so good and I love it. The only reason I found that is because it's tagged Tananoya as a side pairing, right? And like they're not super plot relevant, they just are together, and like Hinata's friends with them, and so they're pretty frequent characters that pop up in the course of this fic. But I would not have found that if it hadn't been for them being tagged. So part of me wants to like help feed the rare pairs and be like, hey, this fic has some like of this ship. It's not a ton, but it's there, so if you're looking for the content, like you can get some of it here. But also I understand when people get really frustrated by like what's happening with Daisuga, and it's like all the stuff that is tagged it, or like 75% or just a lot of it is all side pair. And so that's like I just struggle with it.
It's hard because I think it's almost a war. Well, not really what you're describing. In my mind, it's almost a war between, are the tags there to represent my fic, or are the tags there to aid in searches? Like obviously they do both, but if I was optimizing a fic for searchability more than like information, does that like kind of make sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because like if you just look at it, it's like, yeah, this is the fic, these are the pairings in it, this is like the tags or tropes or whatever that are in it. But like, you know, what if you tag blowjobs on, you know, a 60k fic and there's like one blowjob in there? Does it warrant the tag? Does it not? Are you searching? Like, is someone looking at that fic and seeing that as something they don't like, and that's a reason to pass up on the fic? Or is someone like searching for that, and you've just written a 60k fic with one blowjob scene in there, and like that's not what that person wants if they're looking up that tag?
Yeah.
I don't know why I chose
I don't know why you chose either,
it's
but
the first thing that entered my mind.
I guess we know what goes through your mind.
But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a clear answer. I think everyone just kind of has to make up their own mind about it. But I had been thinking about this because I wrote a RodyDeku piece with Bakugo and Uraraka as a side pairing, and I tagged them, but they're not like that much in it.
Mm-hmm.
Bakugo is a little bit more than Uraraka, but like overall them as a couple really only appear like scattered out here and there. And like I was actually kind of thinking, I was like, maybe I should remove their ship tag from it, but also I don't know, it just feels like they are there, they get mentioned. One of the reasons that, am I even remembering my own fic correctly? Hold on. I don't remember. I was gonna say, like, one of the reasons that Todoroki and Deku like get together is because of like their mutual. You know what? Never mind. I'm just fucking gonna cut that. I forgot the plot to my own fic.
It happens.
But yeah, I don't know. And so I think I'm just gonna leave it there, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what's right for my fic, and you know, that's more important to me, I guess, than the quote-unquote health of the Yuzu-Ocha tag. I've been there before. I know I've harped on it in so many of these podcast episodes, but, like, life was hard for a Sabriel fan in the Supernatural fandom.
Yeah, and it's, like, it's also, like, the OTP True thing sometimes gets me scared, too, because, like, I'm, like, if I tag, like, a side pairing, and then it's no longer going to pull in people's OTP True searches, and so now that's got me paranoid about, like, now more often than not, I'm probably not going to tag a side pairing because I don't want it to get filtered out by that.
Yeah, but or what if someone is searching OTP True and they really don't want to see other side pairings, and now you haven't tagged the side pairing? Yeah. That maybe actually has, like, maybe it doesn't have, like, a plot significance role, but it has, like, an appearance significant role.
Yeah,
you
and
know what I mean?
What I've been doing is I do mention it in the beginning. Like, yeah. I didn't used to do beginning of fic author's notes, and now I tend to, just to give a little bit of context about like ages or anything else that's relevant, like, oh, by the way, this has this pairing in it.
Well, also but I was trying to think, and I'm probably gonna end up doing a similar thing as well, where I'm gonna put at the beginning an author's note, but I'm planning out a fic that has multiple pairings in it, but they all have significant plot relevance, and there's going to be a significant amount focused on both of the pairings, so I don't feel bad tagging both pairings, but there is one that's like slightly more main, and I guess how these two pairings get together are very like different in terms of what AO3 tags would apply to them. And I was like, how do I even tag this? Because so one of them is going to be like fake dating, I guess, spoiler alert. I mean, not spoiler alert, but like whatever. So one of them is going to be fake dating, and the other one is going to be exes to lovers. Weirdly enough, I fucking hate that trope. But I'm writing this fic for you and the things we do for love. And I'm like, how do I tag this?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Because I'm like, the main pairing, it's not exes to lovers at all. I don't want to tag, like, and me, because so I normally have an aversion to exes to lovers. Like, if I saw that tag in like a search where I was looking for a pairing, I probably would skip over that fic, because that's not what I care about. If that was related to the side pairing, which it is, even though the side pairing is, I'm planning on having a good amount of like plot relevance, it still is the side pairing. That would bother me less. And I'm like, I don't know how to tag this, like. And so I'm like, what I'm probably going to end up doing is not tagging any of the tropes related to the secondary pairing and putting them in the author's note. Yeah. But still, it's like this catch-22, like, do I or don't I, or how do I designate, like...
Do people even read the author's notes?
Do people even read the author's notes? I don't.
I do. You're living life on the wild side.
I know. I don't read tags all the time sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't read author's notes. I think it's just because, like, my like a hard nose for fics are like things that are very obvious. It's like major character death. I'm not gonna miss that. And sometimes ignoring author's notes, or not ignoring author's notes, but ignoring tags like can work out, because maybe you read something that you normally wouldn't have because it was tagged with something you don't like, but then you end up liking it.
Yeah. Are you thinking about your Kageyama Suga thing that you read because you thought it was Kuro?
No, I wasn't. I was not thinking of that bit. That wasn't me not reading the tag. It was just me misreading the tag. I thought it was Sugo and Kuro Tetsuro, but it was Suga and Kageyama Tobio. And no. There was a fic tag cannibalism, and
Oh. How do you miss that one?
yeah, you would think, but honestly, like, it was really like well done.
Cannibalism. It was well done.
It
wasn't rare.
It's like mermaid. It's fine.
Can you appreciate my steak joke that I made?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank
it was
you.
Rare. I saw art for it on Twitter is what happened. And so I didn't even read like anything else. I was just like, oh, this is beautiful art. Let me read the fic that it's associated with.
Start reading.
Yep, absolutely. And then I was like, wow, they're eating the mermaid. But not like dead. They were still alive. It was Oikawa, I think.
Oh, God.
I think it was Iwaoi.
Was it like a romantic
Eating
cannibalism?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Actually, weirdly enough, I think you would like this fic more than I liked it because it has beautiful writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I tend to I don't know how to describe this. Our differences in the quote unquote beautiful writing. Like, I tend to enjoy really atmospheric or like
almost
introspective, lyrical,
like
yeah,
where the prose in and of itself is almost like a work of art.
Yeah.
And that bores me a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was very much like that. So I actually think you might enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess we'll never find out. Or maybe we will find out. I don't know. It probably wouldn't be hard to find a cannibalism Iwaoi.
I was going to say, like, I don't even know if I could find it again. And I'm like, no,
Probably
I'm pretty
really
sure
easily.
I could find it again. Wait, start the timer.
Wait, get my Fitbit going.
Archive of our own. So I guess I've visited my author page so much on Archive that when I start typing in the URL to go to Archive, the first recommended thing is my author page instead of the homepage.
Yeah, that's been that way for me for a long time.
Oh.
But I reread my fics fairly frequently.
I
Or
don't know how you do that.
I just enjoy it. I write them because they make me happy. And so I reread them and they make me happy. Also, now I've taken to screenshotting when I find errors, and I use the markup tool to like highlight where the error is, and then I'll like look at my photos and be like, oh right, I found some errors, and then I'll go fix them.
All right. So I searched cannibalism, Iwaizumi Oikawa complete, and there are 20 fics.
Oh, okay. That is that is more than I thought there would be.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't even know. It's right here. Found it.
Whoop. Okay. And okay, come on, Fitbit. 1:14, which is I started it right when I think you started typing in AO3, so I think that's a pretty good estimate. I'll forgive the seconds between you saying it and you pulling up your phone.
Yeah, it's called Yao Bikuni by Plum Tea. And it says, the summary is, eat a mermaid's flesh and you can live forever. One night, Iwaizumi catches a mermaid in a trap.
There's something out there for everyone.
I'm sending it to you.
Oh my goodness.
7K. I really don't remember the details of it. I just remember that I was like, you know what? This is actually like very beautiful.
All right. Well, I guess I'll read it and I can talk about it at some point. Maybe that'll be next week's segment.
Next week's segment is the cannibalism.
I read
Iwaoi
the cannibalism Iwaoi mermaid AU
Funnily
fic,
enough,
which is a lot of words to string together.
I'm reading a mermaid Kiribaku fic right now.
Nice.
That's 100K.
Ooh.
Dude, my hero fanfic writers aren't fucking around with the word counts. Like, I was going through just by recent updates, I think, the Kiribaku tag, just because I was reading a RodyDeku fic because I saw it wrecked on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I was really, really into it. hit like a snag, and I haven't really been able to get back into it because there are something about long word count fics, like really, really long. Like this one was over 200K, and it's just, I don't know. They just seem like so much sometimes. Yeah. For me personally, this isn't a criticism of
long form
fics overall. Like people are into different things. Some people only like one shots. Some people like fics that are that long.
Some people will only read things minimum 50K.
This is actually no mark against this fic. I don't remember the name, but it's a really popular one in the My Hero fandom, so I'm sure some people will be able to suss out what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's something about me personally. It's like I hit this one snag, and like sometimes I feel like you just have to like push through that. But I think with such a large word count, it's like, how long am I gonna have to push through this part that I'm not liking? And like I said, it's no hate to like the rest of the fic. Like I was super into like the beginning of it. It was surprisingly enough ABO.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me about it, and I was like, Bakudeku.
Oh my god, Bakudeku, not usually my thing, but like it was ABO. Someone wrecked it on Twitter, and oh my gosh, this author is so amazing at describing scent, and everything in general, but they are like the way they describe the way Deku like smells to Bakugo is so like, I feel like I'm there. It's so good. And it deals with some heavy subjects, which is not necessarily my preferred thing in fandom. And so it's like, it's kind of at this like point where I'm like, do I just try to push this for the reward of like finishing it? But like I don't even know if I'm halfway through what it's at right now, and it's like, am I going to be pushing through 50K to get to the end, or am I going to be pushing through like a couple chapters? You know what I mean? And so anyway, regardless, I was like, I need a break from this, and maybe I'll come back to it. And so I was like, let me just look up my good old Kiribaku lighthearted shenanigans. And so I just searched like my most recent complete, and man, they were all like heavy hitting. There was multiple over 100K fics, and I was like, a lot of these sound really interesting, but I was just looking for like a one shot or two to like, give me some lighthearted feels before I tried to go back to deep and heavy, emotionally traumatic Omegaverse. But I ended up on this mermaid one, but it sounded really interesting, so pushing through that 100K threshold again.
Gotta do it.
But yeah. Well, we've been going for a time.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of bring up SakuraCon, but I don't know if we have enough time to really get into any specifics talking about it, but we're planning on going next April up in Seattle. We're planning on cosplaying, and you seem very dedicated to it.
Listen,
we like finalized our lineup, and you were like, I've purchased this on Poshmark, and I'm looking at this, and da-da-da-da, and I'm like, oh my god.
This is the type of person I am. Once we have a direction that we are going in, I will full-heartedly like, okay, cool, these are the steps that I need to do. This is da-da-da-da. Remember, for my new job,
Capricorn energy.
Yeah, and also I took that Strength Finders quiz, and it told me my number one strength was being strategic. And so now I'm like, I have a note, like the day after we decided our stuff and like you went to work, I laid on the couch and I like made a note on my phone, and I found full body photos of each character that I'm cosplaying. Insanity. And I like made a list of like, cool, so I need the shoes and socks, and I need a shirt, and I need like, I listed out the individual items that I need to get, and I made them on the note, the like checkbox kind, so that once I get them, I can check them off.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is who I am as a person. So
maybe we'll have like updates on that throughout our podcast times.
Yeah. I've already found socks to probably order on Amazon.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Amazon. I'm trying to thrift everything, but I'm not gonna thrift socks. So, and I found, I think, probably the closest thing to a good bow for one of the school uniforms. I'm still kind of looking around, but doing what I do.
All right. Well, then I guess that wraps up our podcast.
All right.
For today. Follow us at or listen to us. I forgot this aspect last time. But listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, or wherever you hear your podcasts, wherever podcasts exist. Listen. And follow us at Acid Wash Pod on Twitter and TikTok. We don't have anything posted yet, but hopefully by the time you are listening to this, we have. And as always,
No, you cannot say it.
fuck
You need to
Google
stop.
Podcasts.
Stop. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.